From child's pose, Balasana, make sure now that you're activating, so you're lifting the elbows, straight arms, palms pushing down and away from you, lengthening the spine. Inhaling and coming into puppy. So now knees parallel, toes tucked under, walk your hands away, draw the head down to the floor or a block, turn your tailbone up, stretch through the shoulders, armpits drawing down. Use your core. Then inhale, come to tabletop. We're going to come into pigeon. So you're going to bring the left knee behind the left wrist and then straighten the back leg. So you can bring the toes across to the other side of the mat and then wiggle the right leg straight, top of the foot pressing down. Walk your fingertips back in front of either side of the front knee and then press through the left shin to lift your hips. Feel that inner squeeze. Lift your chest and then settle the hips down. So it's trying to help to activate and then open through the thigh, the glutes. So you can prop the left buttock, but we want to make sure that the hips are level here. So if you feel you're rolling off to the left, don't. What are you doing, Raffles? Billy Billy. And then walking your hands forward. So you can stay upright if that feels enough. Otherwise, walk your hands forward, elbows down, and you can even fold or bring your head to your towel roll or a cushion. So now softening. So use the exhale to help soften. If this doesn't feel good for knees, you can just roll onto your back. This is thread the needle up the other way. So we call thread the needle dead pigeon. So really softening into this. Use your breath. Might feel like you want to punch somebody. Eyes are tight. But just focusing, being mindful. Steady the breath. And then inhaling, come up onto your palms, tuck the right toes under. Shift forward a little so you can lift that back knee and then lift into down dog with the left leg. Slowly walk the dog, really feeling into the calves, pressing down through the heel. So you can make your dog shorter than you would normally to feel through the back of the calves. So you can get that resistance from the floor. And then other side, roll forward into plank, bring the right knee behind the right wrist. Toes across to the other side. So traditionally, pigeon is actually with the shin parallel to the front of the mat. But that is so intense for normal Western bodies. So it's fine to let the leg bend more and almost that the heel is by the hip on the opposite side. So again, you're going to shuffle the straight leg back as far as you can. I don't know what this dog is doing. Ooh, she boy. Bring your fingertips in line with the front knee. Press through the shin, lift up, engage. So feel here, you can turn the hips level to the front of the mat and then settle your hips down. Prop that right buttock if you need to. Bring the hands forward. Put your head on your dog. So softening here, use the breath to help release tension, relax your jaw. Keep the breath steady. Then inhaling, coming up on your palms. Get them in your down dog position. Tuck back toes under. Lifting the right leg, coming into down dog. And this time we're going to roll the knees across under you so you can really feel the hips moving as you walk your dog. Twisting through the core. And then we're going to walk feet forward. Slowly come to stand. Stand with your feet hip distance apart. Bend your knees deeply. Bring your tummy to your thighs. And then first two fingers of each hand and the thumb wrap around each big toe. Relax your head down. Soften through the elbows, so keep the elbows bent. Draw the navel in, lift the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift your hips. So trying to keep chest towards thighs. A gap may appear. And it doesn't matter if your legs don't straighten, but this is your hamstrings. So don't force this. You want to work into it. You want to feel a stretch in the belly of the muscle, not at the insertion point. So particularly not up by your bottom. If you feel any nasty pain there, come straight out, bend your knees and come up. There are other ways to stretch, but this is the most immediate, is drawing up through the core. So let the head and shoulders be relaxed. So we're not stretching the shoulders, we're trying to work the core. Muscles work in pairs, so draw up through the kneecaps. It might feel like they don't even move in this position, but it's more like toning your thigh muscles. Because as you squeeze the quads, as muscles work in pairs, they'll release the hamstrings more. Okay, bend your knees a little. Reach your head and chest forward, release your hands. Hands to hips, slowly come to stand. Just bend a little through the knees, little wiggle. Coming to pyramid, so that's stepping the right foot forward, left foot back, but feet hip distance apart, so you're on train tracks. Left toes at an angle, so 45-degree angle, and you're not too wide. You might want to have a block ready on the inside of the front foot. As you inhale, you're going to draw your hips level to the front of the mat. Lift up through your kneecaps. And then bring your hands as fists, press fists into each other. This gives you an extra opening through the chest. So lift your chest, press into the fists, engage your core, and then hinge to halfway on the exhale. So press down through the base of the big toe. Kneecaps lifting, thighs engaged. Keep drawing the right hip back, let the left hip come forward. And then if you can, you'll fold a little more. If you are folding more, then you can release your hands down to the floor or to the block if you need a little bit of height in between, whichever height But we're folding towards that front leg. Intense stretch for that front leg. So again, you're working through the belly of the muscle, so keep toning the quads. Relax head and shoulders if you're folding. Left hip comes forward, right hip goes back. Okay. And then inhale, squeeze your thigh muscles, hug towards the midline, bring your hands to your hips, hinging upwards. Step left foot forward, right foot back. This is Parsvottanasana pyramid. So again, right toes, 45-degree angle, level the hips to the front, draw up through the thighs, exhale, hinge, oops, forgot the hands, press fists into each other. As here you'll feel a broadening across the collarbone, so we're getting that stretch. So head is in line with your spine. Press down through the base of the big toe, squeeze the kneecaps. If you want to go further, start to fold, bring the hands down to block or wherever. Use your breath. Then inhaling, squeeze the core, squeeze the thighs towards the midline, hands to hips. And then inhaling all the way up. Exhale, stepping forward, release the hands. We're not doing sun salutes today. I hope that's okay. From the front of the mat, weight into your right foot. Lift the left knee up, step back to Trikonasana, triangle. So left foot parallel to the back of the mat, right foot points forward, straighten the legs. Don't just press through the back of the knee. You want to draw up through the thighs, take the arms wide. Exhale, pause with your hip as you draw the left hip back, pause here. So reach through your fingertips, shoulders away from ears, turn your head to look forward. So we're drawing our attention to the back of that front leg. So you may feel strongly on the inside of the knee. So there are 3 hamstrings, that's why it's plural, and there are 4 quads, which is why they're called quadriceps. We're feeling into a bit of both. And now we're going to reach forward and tip. Lean back, roll the right buttock under, engage those thigh muscles. So only turning the head to look up if the neck feels good. So you want shoulders away from ears. Use your hands. Reach through the fingertips. Inhale, squeeze thighs. Come up, hands to hips. Bend the front knee. Going to step forward. And then we're going to do the opposite way. So standing, weight into the left foot, step the right foot back into triangle. Same thing, really think about the legs as the arms go wide. Squeeze quads, lift through the core. Take that right hip back and pause. So feeling into it. Feel here as the right hip is going back, that feeling the length of the left leg. Tuck the buttock under slightly. So it's like you're pressing your hips a little forward. Keep squeezing thigh muscles. Reach forward and tip. So let that front hand press against the inside of the calf muscles. So you can feel that resistance You can almost lean back against it. Keep quads engaged. Squeeze the thighs, lifting up. Arms go wide. Hands to hips. Turn your feet parallel. And here, same thing, that you're keeping quads engaged. And then we're going to exhale. Your hands, bring them to the bony part of your pelvis. Feel that turning of the hips forward. So the tailbone goes up. Draw up through the thighs, hinging to halfway. Gaze goes down. Use the pelvic floor, the core, and now we're going to release the hands. Drop your fingertips in front of you. So if you need a block to feel that connection to the ground, go there. If you can, you'll bring the palms down, but you're going to draw the fingertips. If your palms are down, fingertips and palms come down in line with the toes. Hug the elbows in. And then draw the navel in. Start to reach the crown of the head down to the mat. I'm going to do sideways splits on the carpet. Okay, you know where we're going. So bringing your weight forward towards the balls of your feet. Lifting the hips up. Hug those elbows in. Feel that you can push as if you're pushing the hands forward to feed that energy up into the core. And then inhale, walk the hands forward so they're under your shoulders. Exhale here, so fingertips down. Feel the inner thighs, turn the tailbone up. And then squeeze like you're squeezing your ankles towards each other. Inhale, hands to hips. Bend your knees slightly, come all the way up. And then heel toe till you can bring your feet together. I don't know whose these legs are, but they don't feel like mine. Give them a shake. Come to sit. So hands behind you, doesn't matter which way round they go, just to prop you up. We're going to cross, come into figure 4 or dead pigeon, as I said. So this is a version of thread the needle, but we can make it a bit more intense. So stretching through the hip, flexing the raised foot, and then lift your hips. Either you can bring the left foot towards the heel, or lift your hips forward. So now this raised shin, you want to press it into the thigh, lift your chest. A bit more intense than thread the needle. So it doesn't matter how close your bottom is to the heel on the mat, but you're just feeling that you can resist the knee with the shin, lift your chest. And then move the hips back, release that foot. Other side. Lift the chest. Move your hips. Keep the integrity of the top leg there. Don't just let it fold in towards the chest. You want to lift your chest. Press that shin away from you. And then release. Lying back. Lift the right leg. Bring your hands to the back of the thigh. You're going to straighten the left leg along the mat. And then inhale, draw chest and chin towards the thigh. Draw that thigh towards you and then slide your hands up to your calf. Push through the heel. So using your core, really draw the navel in. Draw your chin and chest up. And then relax the chin, but keep drawing the leg and chest towards each other. And then exhale, slide your hands down. Release the right foot to the mat. Bend the left knee, hands behind the thighs, straighten the right leg. And then you're going to crunch up. Slide your hands up to the calf, straighten, push through that heel, like you're stamping on the ceiling. Keep the right leg connected. You're pressing down through the back of that thigh. Draw yourself towards the leg. So feeling into the back of the leg. And then exhale, slide the hands down, lower yourself to the mat. And then rock and roll a little here. Just feel the lower back pressing into the mat. And now you're going to rock 3 times to sit. Sitting nice and tall, closing your eyes. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. Bring your palms together at your heart center. Lowering your head and opening your eyes. Namaste.